All right, guys, today's episode is about team building. You are only as good as the team that you surround yourself with. And it's a very, very important thing as a creative to always remember that you cannot do better than the team of people that you surround yourself with. And as creatives, we sometimes tend to want to do everything by ourselves. You alone is the director, you are the cinematographer, you are the editor, you are the light guy, you are the sound guy, you are the gaffer. You can't grow too far with doing everything as a one-man production crew. It's very important to build people around you, to look for guys around you who have potentials, who are interested in what you are doing, who can learn from what you already know. Now, sometimes we want to wait to know everything before we teach. You don't have to. You can teach what you already know and also be able to duplicate yourself, right? Look for people around you who have interest in production, who love what you're doing, who you believe, are in alignment with you, both emotionally and energy wise as well. Bring them on board, and you want to teach them what you already know and build a strong team for yourself that you can be able to leverage to grow, because you can't do everything by yourself, and you will never grow for as long as you're trying to do everything by yourself, because you can only work on one project per time. Even if you're working on multiple projects within the week, you can only work on one thing, or at least one thing at a time. But if you have a crew or you have a strong team, you can duplicate your project, give more people other things to do, take on more projects, because you're sure that you will deliver, because you have a strong team and you've built a strong team around you. So how do you build a team? The first thing I would say about building a team is that you need to build yourself. Now, this is not to say you have to wait to be a big guy or big, production person before you can start having a team. No, you need to build yourself in terms of management skills. You need to have right leadership skill, have emotional intelligence. You must have, the right character, the right, mindset to be able to work with other people. You must understand that people have come to work with you, not compete with you. So you want to bring the best people that you can find, and they may not come in the best shape, but you first have to build yourself to a place where you can impact on other people. So if you ask me, I would say take up leadership courses. If you're in Nigeria, I would say go for Daystar Leadership Academy. That was my foundation, and that really did help me, structure my mind, structure myself, build the right attributes to be able to function as an individual running a business before they are building a team. If you don't have the right mindset, the right character, the right ethics, what are you going to be building on? Because that will be the foundation to which everything else you build lies on. You must have a personal vision. Write a vision, make it plain so that anyone who reads it can run with it, right? If you don't write it down, if it's not clear, then when you're building a team, they don't even know what to work with. They don't know what are the principles, what are your values. So as a creative, you want to have your vision, you want to have your mission, you want to have your values, you want to have your principles, you want to have your deal breakers. You want to have things that if you do this, you cannot be in my environment. It also needs to also be applied to you as well, because it can't be one rule for you and one rule for everyone else. And the easiest way to look at it is, what is your vision? The vision should be, what's the end goal for this thing I'm doing? What's the ultimate? You want to sit down and think in reverse, right? Think of this thing that you're doing as the biggest it can be, for as far as you can see from where you are right now. Now, visions change as we grow and as we get more exposure, more knowledge, and more resources. Your vision tends to change. That's okay. But from where you sit at the moment as a creative, what is your ultimate goal? So your vision, for instance, could be that you want to be the next Steven Spielberg. That is a vision. That's a valid vision. Write it down, right? So that you can see it, you can understand it. It can be registered in your subconscious mind, and then you can, apply yourself every day to become that thing that you have set out to become. And when people join your team, they know who you want to become, and they can hold you by that standard. You also want to have a mission. Now, a mission is, coined from the word missionary, right? So you cannot be a missionary to self. You're a missionary to others. A missionary is sent to others. So your mission is, how does this thing you're doing impact on others? So for instance, you can say your mission is to impact positively on society, by telling impactful stories. You get me? So that is the mission on its own. That mission basically saying what you'll be doing, the kind of stories you'll be telling will be impacting positively on society, right? So you want to have a mission that is about the people, it's about the viewers. It could be, for instance, your mission is that you want to help brands improve and develop their perception. Again, it is about brand, it's about your clientele, it's about who you're servicing. So your mission should always be about those that you are out to serve, while your vision is about yourself. But what you see these days is that people have a vision and the mission is how to accomplish the vision. It doesn't make any sense because it's still about you, right? Your vision should be about you. Your mission should be about those that you have set out to serve in the industry you're choosing to play, right? And then so once you have that, you also want to have your principles. One could be, for instance, someone like me is, I always meet my deadlines, right? That could be your principle. If you give me a deadline and it's realistic, I'll meet it. I'd never not meet a deadline. If I have to stay up all night to get it done, I stay up all night to get it done, right? So you must have your own principles. What are the guiding principles of this establishment that you're starting? We will always be on time. We will always deliver on time. We will always take feedback friendly. We will always get feedback from clients. We will only work with top brands. And therefore, when smaller brands come to you, say, no, you're not, I am at this massive level. I only work with top brands. For instance, someone like me, for instance, I only work with corporates, right? You will never or hardly ever catch me doing an individual project or working for an individual. It's always corporate or high-earning individual. So again, you can have your own principles and say, these are the kind of people that are going to work for. We're not going to do this kind of project. We're going to use our resources and our creativity to the places that it only does matter, or to where we give us the best return on investment. It's just how it depends on how you want to work. So you must have these standards, have them all in place. And then when you now want to build a team, it's easier for them to see your vision, for them to understand how their role will impact on the mission that you have set out to do, for them to understand what your values are, what your principles are, what your deal breakers are, what your non-negotiables are. You already have all these things written in the document, and it's easier for them to see it and just fall in line. It will save you the amount of time you have to train people and talk and handhold people and micromanage people, because you have now tabled it all down. They see where you're going, and then they can decide if this is the right place for them to grow or not. So it's very critical that when you're building your team, you want to first of all have built yourself and have your own right standards here and there. Now, don't forget, these things are updatable, right? So you can continue to improve on them as you go, because they're not set in stone. But you want to first have a foundation, and then you can continue to build on it as you grow. One other thing that you need to understand when building a team is that you want to get people who are diverse and different from you, people who have capacities that you fall short of. You're not going to try to duplicate yourself all rounder, right? We want to have components of individuals with different dynamic skills that eventually help this vehicle that you have built to work, right? So everybody must have different important intrinsic components that all come together. For instance, my own skill could be just be able to communicate and market and drive the business of production. Someone else's skill could be lighting. They have amazing eye for light. Someone else could be just be set design. They have a great eye for set. They know that when you put this color and that color here, it will pop. They understand color mixture, color frequency, color scheme, and they can bring all of those amazing skills into play. Those are kind of people that you need, people who have the skills that you lack or the skills that you haven't really refined. And then all of you can come together and, be a very important tool for each other. And you all put your heads together and be able to create this amazing system. So that is one thing as a creative you want to take into consideration, that you're only as good as your team and must have a clear vision and a mission and values of what you want to accomplish, and then have it written down, and then be able to look for people you think align with that vision and those principles, and you want to be able to communicate these things to them effectively. And then all of you can come together with your different skills, your different abilities, your different talents to be able to drive this amazing vehicle of a production company that you have created.